when I initially started this project, I didn't want to set myself a schedule because I didn't think that kind of pressure was necessarily good. But now I've decided to go for bi-weekly videos for the 100 days. Um, just because it makes me have to do it. It makes me have to put out incomplete, like shitty videos like this is gonna be probably. So my extra rule is that the schedule is going to be bi-weekly, and it may be anything. I'm not committing to any certain type of videos for the first 100 days, but there's going to be a video. But in addition to that, here are my 5 rules for my 100-day project. Here we go. My rule number 1 is it's not a social media challenge. And what I mean by this is whenever we do something, like whenever I do something, there's this instinct nowadays to have a campaign on social media. Like there's gonna be all these, like me on a 100-day project easily could be morphed into me making an Instagram post or story about my 100-day project every day for 100 days. And I just instantly realized that that's something that would not be a good thing. That would just drag me down. I would be, by day 20, I would be completely bored with these stories. I would have nothing to tell because the project it's not making something every day. It's about creating, like having it on your plate every day and progressing it every day so you can have like the video bi-weekly or whatever your goal is. But to try to make content for social media about this in addition to making all of the other things that I have to communicate about, that would be a nightmare. And I just don't want the pressure. And I'm glad I've been doing these things, been doing marketing long enough to just like nip it in the butt and never even going there, never even trying to have that be the reality. Okay, so rule number 2 is feel free to figure it out. And this is kind of obvious, of course, yeah, but it's also not, because immediately when I started to do this, this project, this challenge, I'm always referring to it as a challenge, I'm sorry. I instantly I had a vision of how it's going to be. Okay, I'm going to have these talking head videos. I'm going to talk about these stuffs. I'm going to kind of bring in these subject matters, and instantly I could feel myself overthink it, overplan it. So I had to make a rule of just feeling free to figure it out. I'm going to feel free to make this video about it. I'm going to feel free to, in 2 weeks, make some other video. I'm going to feel free to make a 5-minute video, a 10-minute video, a 20-minute video, and try to the best of my ability to overcome any kind of vision for the 100 days, because this should be my time to find it. This should be my time to like freely explore, make mistakes, make bad videos, make good videos, have happy accidents, have unhappy accidents, and just, I know it's like the theme of kind of enjoying the journey and utilizing the journey is prevalent here, but I can't stress enough how important it is for me to have that as my guiding light, just because of my tendencies. So I'm going to feel free to figure it out, and yeah, it's even saying that is like I have a counter reaction to that. I have like, no, you should know. You should know what you're gonna do. So that's what we're going to do. The third rule is don't box yourself in. It's the same theme, basically, but not necessarily even that, is because YouTube, especially where I'm starting these videos at least, is there's already a culture of and history of people being creators. And one of those themes of YouTube is definitely people kind of finding their niche. That's a thing that you go for, is finding your niche. But people tend to, and this is something that I haven't experienced, but I've observed it. People tend to start with a niche or accidentally stumble upon a niche and then get trapped by a niche. And well, I have no audience yet, so that's not a problem for me naturally. But still, in my own mind, I don't want to box myself into having to make these certain type of videos. And a good example is I'm a musician, but I don't want to, like, I'm struggling with should I make videos that have a lot to do with my life as a musician? Because I know that is something that I'm trying. I want to be also seen as a musician. I want my music to be heard, definitely. This is a tool for that a lot, but also I want to be free. I want to have the freedom in my own channel, in my own space, to like tell everything. So at least for the first 100 days, I want to be free to explore all the different types of topics and content that I could want to make, and just kind of find my way and find my at least find the things that interest me, because I don't think there's no pressure from like an audience. I'm not gonna find my audience in the first 100 days, so that's not gonna be a problem. Maybe a good way of also saying it is I want to find what I'm actually interested in telling, of all those things that I think I'm interested in telling, and then making more of those videos, and just have it be a buffet of things that I might be into. Because there's no use of me trying to kind of foretell what I'm gonna be interested in making videos, because one thing that I have learned by observing other people on these platforms is the things that you're interested in may not be the things that you make the best videos about. And having like the struggle seems to be for a lot of people having those two things merge, having those two things, kind of finding the balance between those things. I try not to decide too early. If I do decide too early, I'm probably going to get it wrong. Rule number 4 is don't try to see the end game. And I think this could be in the same vein as the thing before, like don't box yourself in, don't decide too early. But it's also, I think, on a larger scale, it's don't try to see or decide or know where this is going to end up, because anything is possible. Like this could be, I think all of us know that when we embark on something, like when we decide to do something, it's definitely not going to end up where we thought it was, but it might not even serve the purpose that we thought it might serve. This might end up by me knowing by the end of the 100 days or in 2 years that I don't want to make videos online. That's not the way for me to communicate. That's a possibility. So I want to tell myself not to make this thing for a specific goal. Of course, I have goals in my mind. I have things that I've all this pent up purpose from the last 7 years, but I'm not trying to make that my mission. My mission is making it. My mission is just producing things and freeing myself of my own expectations, and then actually seeing where it goes and not worrying about where it goes. Like, I'm not worried about where this video is going. I started it and I have mixed feelings about it, but I'm gonna go through with it. I'm gonna just let it serve the purpose that that it will serve. I'm not a fatalist, so I'm not gonna say like that it was meant to serve, but that it will serve, because it will serve some purpose. And I'm like, yeah, and for me as a person, I don't know if you've picked it up yet, but I'm very to see the end game, to see the next move, to see the purpose to get there is a very strong theme with me. And combating that is a very, very, like a big theme in my personal life. Well, my personal, not necessarily my personal life, but my life as an artist, which is a big part of my personal life. So there you go. And my rule number 5 is listen to the audience. And this is a tricky one because I feel that there's a big conflict. Like, let's say a person makes the videos for a couple of years and then they find like they have this thing that they're doing. They have their own passion that they're doing. And then as an offshoot, like this, I've heard of these stories like more than once, that they have this offshoot video that just like goes. And us being such little sheep for numbers right now, they go for that thing. They think that they have to retain that audience, to retain all those people that from that one hit came in. They now have to please that audience. They have to make more of those videos. But the thing is, that video was an offshoot. It was something that they kind of like accidentally stumbled upon. And it's not unusual, just observing it, it's not unusual for those people to not actually be all that into that thing, but rather they stumble upon it. They're trapped almost in that new niche that they just created for themselves, and they start making those videos and they start getting unhappy because they started making videos that actually weren't their passion. So there's a trap that history has already like shown that YouTube has this trap. So my mentality is watch for that trap. Like, don't listen to the audience too much, but also kind of, because it is about connection. It is about me finding a connection to people that, like, I'm not going to find myself. I'm not going to find a person who's interested in all those things that I'm interested in and wants to see content about me, like talking about all of the things that I'm passionate about. I'm gonna have to find a connection. It's like in a friendship, we have to navigate those differences and find that sweet spot where I'm comfortable and you're comfortable and we have a good time together. But a part of that is observing the audience and listening to direct input. Because let me tell you, my first video that I just released, I had one comment on it, and it was like, it started off as being criticism about like noisy audio. Like there's this noise coming through in the audio and it's a technical flaw, and it was a criticism, but I was so appreciative of that criticism. To think that someone would take the time to point out that kind of a thing, that even if their intent was malicious, but I didn't get the vibe that it was, because it was an actual issue. But even if it was, it's still like them taking the time from their day to post a comment on your video about an issue with the video. And I was so thankful. I was so thankful to that person. And I told them in the comment, like, I was really appreciative. It made me feel good. The criticism made me feel good. So I want to definitely listen to the audience, because that connection, when that starts happening, I'll be such a happy camper. I'll be such a happy person when that happens. Thank you for that person who commented on the first video. But yeah, listen to your audience. And I think it's like, when you don't overdo it, as with all of these things, when you don't overdo it, I think it's gonna benefit you. It's gonna be a good thing. And it's also gonna curb my process. So that's it. That's my second video. My 5 rules of my 5, like, let's say my 5 rules for the 100-day challenge. Yeah, this was fun. So let me know if there's another rule that I should maybe take into consideration. If you've done your 100-day project already, let me know if you have a set of rules, or if you have some advice for me for my thing. But with that, I think you're up to date. Good job. If there's anything else, leave your comments, suggestions, or solicitations here on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. It's all Jones and You. Anyway, find your way, you tell your story, and let's do it together. I'll talk to you later.